Guys, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. So I just got done putting on this new set of wheels and tires on this Model Y. This is my 2023 Model Y long range all-wheel drive. And for the last year or so, I've been running the 21-inch turbine, Uberturbine performance wheels on this car with oversized tires. And they've done great. Like they look fantastic. They just provide for a little harsher ride, and the range is not as good. So what I want to do is I wanted to change up the wheels just to do something a little more efficient. Give me like maximum sidewall to give a little more cushion for bumps, handle a little better. So I switched to these ones. These are the 19-inch Gemini wheels. Most of the 2024 Model Y came with like a base wheel that was the dark. They had like a dark option. Prior to that, they had like a silver hubcap. Well, the wheel is dark underneath it. I found some wheels that were powder coated, and then I bought these caps directly from Tesla, and then I put them on here. These are kind of a budget tire as well. I think I paid just under like $500. I think I paid around $530, $540 total for all four tires shipped to my house. And then I installed these on my machine. So I just want to go through real quick, show you how I installed these on my machines. I have a balancer as well. Put these on, and then also show you the 21-inch wheels that I had taken off. All right, so these are the 21-inch wheels that I took off of the car, and they're the 21 Uberturbine wheels. And what I did, in the rear, I was running the 295 35 21, and in the front, I was running the 275 35 21. I was running these tires, the Arroyo Grand Sport. These have about 5,000 miles on them, and I measured them. They're about 8 to 8.5 30 seconds, so very little wear on these. Still have like at least 85% of the tread left after about 5,000 miles. So they handled great, did great. As you can see, they're just like the rears, they're just a really wide tire. They just create a little more drag. They're a very heavy wheel and tire setup as well. So they look really good. They just don't provide the best efficiency, so that's why I switched to the other ones. Now here's a close-up of the tires that I'm using. They're the Radar tires. They're the all-season EV tires, factory size 255/45 R19. That's the same size that comes on the 19-inch wheel, so I'm not changing the size. These do not have the foam inside, but they are made to be noise reduction tires, also low rolling resistance, so to help with noise and give me a little better wear life. They have a 40,000 mile tread wear life on them. And being a square setup, I'll be able to rotate these as well. So I'm curious to see how they're going to go. These are pretty affordable option as well. So I'm going to put these on, and I'll show you the rims that these are going to go on. So I'm going to install these on my tire machines here. These are my machines. They're not Tesla branded. I just put these stickers on them. I'll leave links to these, but these are really cool. I've had these almost a year and a half and have got a lot of good use out of them. So here's the rims that I got. You can see here it's the factory 19-inch Gemini wheel, but I found them powder coated. I found them on eBay, and I was able to find those in perfect shape. And then I ordered these aero caps directly from Tesla. They're on the Tesla website under vehicle accessories. And so I wanted to run these. I like the look of these. This is kind of what comes stock on the Model Y right now with this setup right here. These aero caps do give a lot more efficiency than if I just ran them without this hubcap. So the hubcap does provide a lot of efficiency, almost 5% difference in range having the cap versus not. But if you have the silver wheels and you try putting these caps on, this edge will show up. So you almost need to get your wheels powder coated in order to be able to run these darker caps, because the edge of the rim is exposed, and so you need to have a darker wheel underneath if you're running these darker hubcaps. All right, so I got my rim clamped on here. I have my Bluetooth TPMS sensors. These you can find pretty affordable. You can usually get a set of these for about $100 to $120, and I just got another set so that way I could swap these on there. I'm going to just resell the other wheels and tires as a package. Just screw it on here and then just use a socket to tighten that down, and then I can put the tire on. And with these tires, I'm just checking to see where it says inside or outside. They're not directional, but they do have markings for the outside. Also, usually the outside has usually a red or yellow dot where you want to line up the valve stem to. So I'm just going to get some lubricate, lubricate the tire, and we'll get it put onto the rim. Now I have the bottom bead put over the mounting head, and just turning the table here, and the bottom bead usually goes on very easily. Now to get the top bead on, I'm just pulling it over the feather of the duck head and below the head. So I'm just lining it up just like that. This machine's nice because it has these assistant or helper arms, has a bead roller, and then it also has this presser arm to help keep the tire bead down in the drop center. So I just kind of use that arm to help keep the tire down, and I kind of just help push it along here. And then I can also use a tire iron to help make sure that that bead is down into the drop center. That's how you can stretch this tire over the rim, is if it's down in the drop center like this. Usually this presser arm does a good job at keeping it down there, but the tire iron also helps as well. And I move it around here, just making sure that the bead is in the drop center down below the rim, and then it just pops on just like that. Now with both of the beads over the rim, I can unclamp the wheel, lift it up here, and then start inflating it to seat the beads against the rim. And this is just done with air hose. It's just going to expand the beads. They'll just pop into place. And I'll inflate the tire up to 42 psi's. That will generally seat the bead at that pressure. And then I'll install the valve core. So now I'm ready to do the balancing. And so I have the cone and the spring onto the balancer here. Have that set up here. I put the wheel on there, right on the shaft, and then put this wing nut down. This is going to help center it onto the cone. And I just kind of push it back here and help center itself on the cone, so that way it's not on there and it doesn't wobble. And then I push down on the wing nut to tighten it down. Now, this balancer is pretty basic operation here. Down on the left is the on-off switch, so I just flip the switch on here. And then there's 3 inputs I need to input. The first one's going to be this measurement from the distance to the machine to the inside of the rim. So I just measure that, put it right on inside of the edge of the rim right there. You can see there it's a 5. So I come up here to the first setting, and that is a 5. I toggle down to 5. The second one is the width of the rim. The rim is a 9.5 inch wide rim, so I put in 9.5 into the second field. Last one, I put in the diameter of the rim, which is 19 inch, so I just do that to 19 inches. And then I'll change the setting here. I usually do the ALU3, which is where I have weights on the outside and weights on the inside. You're going to use stick-on weights for this, and this is how it's going to go. So what I do is just give it a little spin here, start it, hit the start button. It's going to tell me where to add weight to get it balanced. All right, so it's asking for 1.75 ounces on the inside and then 0.75 ounces on the outside of the rim. I added this after the fact. This is a little laser, and you push the button here and it centers right on the top here, so that way I know exactly where to add the weight inside of the rim and on the outside here, so that makes it a lot easier. So I'm just going to add that weight, respin it, and see, hopefully it's 0. All right, by adding that weight, it's zeroed out, so when I have zeros here, that means everything's all balanced, so I can take the wheel off, and I just need to do this same procedure for all the next 3 wheels and tires. I've had these tire machines in my garage for the last couple years. They've worked out great, held up great. I've been able to do all kinds of wheels and tires. It saved me from having to go to the tire store and pay their prices to get the tires mounted and balanced. And I'm able to buy my tires online, have them shipped to my house, and I'm able to just do them right in my garage. Now I'm just mounting the wheels onto the car here. I use an impact wrench just to tighten the wheel just enough to hold it onto the hub. Then I'll slightly lower it down, use my torque wrench, torque it down to 125 foot-pounds, and then I can just pop my caps on, and then I just do that to all 4 wheels. All right, guys, I'm in the car. I'm testing out the tires here. There's definitely some noise reduction, and it's not as harsh over bumps, over imperfections in the road. And usually when you have a new set of tires, though, I mean, it takes a couple hundred miles to kind of wear off that new tire layer that just makes the tires maybe a little louder, a little not handle as well. So I'm going to give it a couple hundred miles, and then I'll give you guys kind of an updated review. But I'm excited about this set of wheels and tires. They don't look as good. Yeah, the look, I kind of downgraded when it came to the looks of the wheel and tire of the car, but I think efficiency-wise, it's gonna handle really well, and also it's gonna help with curbing of the wheels. Those 21-inch wheels, they had a lot of curb rash. Now we didn't put a lot of the curb rash on there. A lot of it was on there when we got them, because I did buy those 21-inch wheels secondhand. They were used. They just get curbed a lot. These 19s is not as big a deal. I mean, there's the the aero cap. You can replace those pretty easily if they get damaged, and then you can just touch up the edge of the rim if they get some curb rash on them. So I'm not that concerned about the curb rash. I do like the fact that I'm going to get more range out of the tires, out of these wheels, this setup. I think it's going to be a little more comfortable. The Model Y, guys, I never realized how much the Model Y, how jarring the suspension is on it. And I know that sounds weird, but like I've been driving my Cybertruck for the last 3 months that has huge 35-inch plush tires, and it has air suspension, and that thing is just like the best riding vehicle I've been in. And then I get into the Model Y and I drive that, and it's just like every bump you're jostling around the suspension, you know. So it's like if you're not used to that, the Model Y really does seem, it seems like it's not that good of a ride. So I think this is going to help, you know, going to the 19-inch wheels and tires. That's going to help with the ride. That's going to help with the handling of it. All right, guys, so stay tuned for updates on this. I'll give you some updates after I've put, you know, a couple thousand miles on those wheels. I'm curious about the efficiency. I should be gaining about 30 or so miles of range. And the reason I say that is because if we look on the Tesla website, Tesla rates the Model Y performance at 279 miles of range, and the Model Y long range all-wheel drive with the 19-inch wheels is around 310 miles. And so it's almost about 31 miles of range difference. And so that's what we could be looking at. And I could be looking at a little bit more because I had bigger tires on than the factory 21-inch tire size. So that could have something to do with it as well. They are a heavy set that I had on there, so this is going to be I think it's going to be good for efficiencies. But guys, I'll keep you updated on that. Leave your comment down below, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.